We have to talk about what is going on in Afghanistan right now because women just got another right taken away from them. The Talib seized power 3 years ago, and ever since then they have created countless new laws, most of which are limiting women's access to anything and everything.
Let's talk about Afghanistan women. I know most of us are not from that country. In fact, you might not even want to go there because you might not have business there. But we just need to talk about how they are treating women in that country, because I saw a video of this lady explaining everything or most things that are happening in that country, how they're trying to, oh, it's not like they're trying to silence women. They have already silenced them. They brought out so many rules that women cannot even have voices anymore. You cannot talk. You cannot go to school. There are so many things they've banned only women from. Imagine being in a country whereby, as a woman, being in a country, you have to cover your head, your body from head to toe. You cannot drive without having a male beside you. You can't go to school. You don't have freedom. These are the challenges, these are the things that they've banned women from in Afghanistan. I kind of put down 10 things that I saw online when I was trying to, see the things that women are going through in Afghanistan for the past. They've banned women over for the past, I think, 2 to 3 years. And one of it is attending secondary school, university. Attending secondary school, they've banned women from. I saw a video of when some women were crying when they brought out that law because they were in school and they told them that no more school. Traveling long distance without men. Traveling long distance without men. I just feel like it's like the way they make women, or the way they're trying to make women be in that country is you cannot live without men. You must be with a man. Because what does traveling have to do with me being with a man? Having most jobs outside of their homes, going to parks and gyms, working at most governmental organizations. I'm going to go ahead and, say the remaining five after I roll this clip for you also watch the end. So let's go ahead and listen to what this lady has to say because she's making a lot of sense. And I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
We have to talk about what is going on in Afghanistan right now because women just got another right taken away from them. The Talib seized power 3 years ago, and ever since then they have created countless new laws, most of which are limiting women's access to anything and everything. But their newest law forbids women from using something that we all kind of take for granted, their voices in public, because they now deem that women's voices are considered too intimate to be heard out loud. So talking too loudly, reciting, reading out loud is not allowed in public. Women should not be seen or heard in public. That is basically the gist of it. The scene part they have already established, since every woman has to be covered up from top to bottom. Women should also not be allowed out without a male relative by their side. Like a little dog that's not allowed to go out without their owner, right? It's only that women even have less rights than dogs because dogs can bark without being punished. If a woman is too loud, she will be punished. Other things the Talibs have established in the last 3 years is that women are not allowed to go to university. Women get education until 6th grade, nothing beyond that. Most girls get married off at like 15, 16 because their families are in poverty. Women who are single mothers, who are widows, who are at risk because they don't have an active and successful male relative by their side who is able to provide for them, have to go to extreme and great dangerous lengths to make money. There are secret, beauty salons and stuff like that all around the country because women are not allowed to legally work in those places anymore. Women are not supposed to be treated by male doctors, but since, there's no education beyond 6th grade, they also can't become female doctors, meaning that women can basically not go to doctors. The education system and the healthcare system are suffering because a lot of women were nurses, doctors, teachers, and now all of them are not allowed to work anymore. So you do have extreme shortages. Women are forbidden from going to most public places, including parks and stuff like that. They're basically supposed to just be at home, get your education until 6th grade, and then get married and have babies and cook and clean. They're not allowed to have a voice, literally. And they have no human rights whatsoever. The self-unaliving rates have risen drastically. A lot of women and girls are trying to take their own lives because not being alive in their eyes is better than being a woman in Afghanistan. Whenever I think they took everything they could have possibly taken, they go a step further. They find another right to take away. It breaks my heart to see how progressive Afghanistan was before any type of foreign intervention, because that's also something I want to address. Because whenever I talk about Afghanistan, what is happening there, I will for whatever reason get comments, and a lot of the times Americans telling me, that's just the culture. That just happens when you're from a bad country. Completely ignoring the fact that the reason why the Talibs are so strong and so trained today is because of them and the CIA. For everybody that fell asleep during history, let me give you a quick rundown. There was a time when the Soviet Union basically tried to take over the entirety of Central Asia, Afghanistan included. As most of you guys know, the US and the Soviet Union always had some sort of beef going on. Basically, a bunch of old men in the governments trying to see who has the bigger peepee. So the US tried to, free Afghanistan from the Soviet Union. And as a concept, that sounds amazing because Afghanistan wanted to be independent. They did not want to be bothered by anybody. But the way the US, the best country in the world, did it is absolutely pathetic and embarrassing. They funded and trained an extremist militia group, the so-called Mujahideen, who before the US basically had no power whatsoever. This happened during Operation Cyclone. Look it up if you want. So they gave all the money to a group that they knew were unstable, were full of extremists, and who wanted to gain power themselves. The Mujahideen became stronger and stronger due to the help of the US. And after some time, they split into multiple groups. Some of them were good groups, but one of those groups were the Talibs. So yes, the US is directly responsible for the state of Afghanistan today. So I do not want you in my comments telling me, oh, it's just their culture, it's just the way they are, it's Islam. When your government has facilitated the uprising of a terror organization because they were too lazy to find any other way to get rid of the Soviet Union. That is what it comes down to. They could not give less of an F what happens to the country that they leave behind once the Soviets are gone. Because for them, it was not about protecting Afghanistan from the potential threats that could occur when the Soviet Union takes over. It was simply about one-upping the Soviet Union and showing that their peepee is way bigger than their peepee. That is something governments like that have done again and again. They play their little games in different countries all over the world and only leave destruction behind. And then after doing all of that, that government does not teach its citizen actual history, so none of them know what their governments have actually done to the world. So then they are able to go into comment sections of Afghan women like me and tell me, oh, our, military tried for multiple years and we failed because you guys are just, so demented and so bad. We don't owe you anything. Your government actually owes most of the world everything. And by the way, if you were thinking about, oh, a government training a group to get rid of another group, and then that group becoming an extremist group, and then the government complaining about that, kind of reminds me of Hamas and Izzy. Yeah, it definitely does. They learned from their daddies from the US. Many people in Afghanistan, and specifically Afghan women, feel like they are not being heard anymore. Nobody cares about them anymore outside of the borders of Afghanistan. But that could not be further from the truth. So we will continue to talk to make sure that their stories are being heard, even though they're being legally silenced now.
Imagine being in a country whereby you cannot own, as a woman, you cannot own or go to beauty salons. You can't go to beauty salon because why would you even go to beauty salon? Because they've even told you that you have to cover your body from head to toe. And some people are saying that because it's an Islamic country, then that's what they are supposed to do. Not all women practicing Islam are covering their body from head to toe. Where I'm from, in fact, I have friends that are Muslim. They don't cover their body from head to toe. I have a friend while I was in school. In fact, we were staying together. She was my roommate. She started with not covering her head, but now she covered her head from head to toe. Like she covered her body from head to toe. It is a choice. It is not a rule. It is not a compulsory thing. Imagine them giving you that thing that it must be compulsory for you to do that. That's sad. And it has to be for only women. It's not general. It's not like, okay, men and women must do these things. It is just women. They said driving without a male companion. You cannot drive without a male companion. Going to restaurants on their own. Must wear head-to-toe clothing. I kind of said that already. And they're not allowed to be treated by male doctors. If you're not allowed to be treated by male doctors, if they are not allowed to be treated by male doctors, and women are not allowed to work, you're not allowed to go to school, definitely What they're trying to say is, if you're sick, that is it. I feel like in that country, they will get away with so much raping, unaliving women anyhow because they don't have voices anymore. The other time we talk about women or what's going on in India, a lot of raping and all of that. There was one comment I saw in that video I posted. Somebody was like, "Oh, that will happen because they are white or something." Kind of like that is their race. Person trying to make it feel like it's a race thing. No, this is not a race thing. To me, I feel like this is women. This is a women thing. Because if you're trying to say, okay, we're trying to just say, okay, race thing, or because you're black, because I'm white, because you're this, then it's none of my business, then I don't think we love each other. I feel like I feel like we should have a community whereby we can be able to talk, not just saying, oh, because you're white or because you're a white woman, then you deserve it, or because you're a black person, you deserve it. No, no. I know some people will say, oh, that is their country, is an Islamic country, is this, is that, or that is how. No, no. Because I am not a Muslim, but I know how it operates because I have Muslim friends. And all these rules they're trying to, I feel like they're trying to silence, it's not like they're trying to silence, they have already silenced women. What we're going through their head and all of that is quite sad. And the thing that is most frustrating is that it was not like that before. I saw a picture of how women were years before this law, came. The way they were dressed, the way they were singing, they were happy, dancing, there were shows that women were hosting. But now, women are like, they don't want them to exist. It's like they want to erase women in that country. What is your take on what is going on in Afghanistan? Women in Afghanistan. What is your take on this topic? Let us have conversation in the comment section respectfully. And thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your girl Maria David. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified once I upload another interesting video. And I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.